If you are waiting for a sale somewhere else, watch this video first. Walmart just put a bunch of new arrivals on the shelves, and among them are the best deals to buy since the beginning of the season. A few items are cheaper than any sale you will see anywhere else, and the shelves won't wait long. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. One Ozark Trail 45-quart rolling cooler. Let's start with a question that few people dare to ask straight up. Do you really need to drop $400 on a cooler? The Yeti Tundra Haul is a good product. No one is arguing that, but good and worth 6 times the money are two completely different things. Ozark Trail is Walmart's exclusive outdoor brand, and this 45-quart cooler is sitting on the shelf for $68 while doing almost everything that Yeti advertises. The cooler shell is roto-molded as a single piece using the exact same technology that premium brands often use as a selling point. It features a 2-inch thick polyurethane insulation layer surrounding the entire cooler and a freezer-grade rubber gasket that completely seals the lid when the T-latches are locked. The real-world result is ice retention for nearly 5 days in 90-degree Fahrenheit weather, meaning you can take it on a long holiday weekend camping trip without worrying about replenishing ice halfway through. The large, solid rubber wheels can be pulled through beach sand and rugged grass without getting stuck or tipping over, which is exactly where many other cheap-wheeled coolers usually fail. The Pelican Elite does the same thing at the $300 price point, and Yeti does it at $400. What else could that $330 difference buy for a weekend BBQ or a beach trip with the family? I honestly don't have a convincing answer. Ozark Trail is not a knockoff, nor is it a low-quality product trying to copy others. This is a product designed precisely for its purpose at a price point that most families can actually spend without thinking twice. There is a product on the next shelf that I used to bypass for years because I thought it was no different from standard items. Turns out I was completely wrong. 2. Applegate Organics hot dogs. Hot dogs are something almost everyone buys in the summer without thinking much about it, as long as they are convenient and available. But if you have ever stood in front of the meat case at Whole Foods, picked up a pack of Applegate, looked at the $9.50 price tag, and put it back down because you didn't want to spend that much on hot dogs, then this information is worth stopping for. Applegate is no newcomer to Americans who focus on clean food. This brand has long been the go-to choice for families wanting to stay away from artificial nitrites and nitrates, two common preservatives found in most processed meats that nutrition researchers have questioned for years. It features 100% grass-fed beef, is USDA certified organic, and contains no scrap fat or industrial additives used as fillers to pump up the weight. The natural collagen casing gives a genuine crisp snap when grilled over charcoal and locks the juices inside, instead of turning dry and tough like many conventional hot dogs. What makes this time different is that Walmart is selling Applegate at $6.98 for a 6-pack, which is nearly $3 lower than Whole Foods for the exact same product. Hebrew National or Oscar Mayer comes at a friendlier price, but the meat quality is a completely different story. If you are grilling for the whole family on weekend afternoons and want to choose a cleaner option without paying Whole Foods prices, this pack of hot dogs is in the right place at the right time. 3. Hoover Spotless Mattress Vacuum. Most of us don't think about the mattress we sleep on every night until we are forced to. It might be when a doctor asks about bedroom hygiene habits during an allergy checkup, or when you realize someone in the house is constantly sneezing every single morning without any obvious cause. The problem is that dust mites don't live on the surface. They live deep inside the layers of mattresses and sofas, the exact place that a regular floor vacuum cannot reach, no matter how much you use the specialized attachments that came with it. The Hoover Spotless is designed for that exact job. The beating bar vibrates 10,000 times per minute, creating continuous shocks that push fine dust, dust mites, and dead skin from deep within the mattress layers up to the surface, where a 12 kilopascal cyclonic suction system pulls it all in. The 99.9% sanitizing UVC light handles what the suction power cannot eliminate. The dual HEPA filtration system ensures that everything just sucked out doesn't escape back into the bedroom air, something a regular vacuum cannot do, and in fact, actually backfires when used on a mattress. Raycop and Japan's Iris Oyama have long been the gold standard for this type of device, but their prices ranging from $130 to $180 make many people hesitate. The Hoover Spotless here is $79, and the 16-foot power cord is long enough to go all the way around a king-size bed without needing to be unplugged. If you have older adults or young children in your home who suffer from unexplained allergies, this is a place where $79 makes a lot more sense than many other things we spend money on every summer. I'm about to talk about two items that, if you are preparing for a summer party and lack them, chances are you will have to spend twice as much somewhere else. 4. Hines Pitmaster BBQ sauce. If you have ever stood in front of the condiment aisle at Whole Foods, picked up a bottle of Lily's Q to check it out, and then looked at the $7.50 price tag and put it back down because you didn't want to spend that much on a bottle of BBQ sauce, I completely understand that mindset. Artisan sauce lines from Southern pitmasters like Lily's Q or Rufus Teague are worth that price, but budgets don't always keep up with taste buds. Heinz saw that gap, and this time they did exactly what needed to be done instead of just slapping a premium label on an old recipe. The Pitmaster collection was developed alongside actual pitmasters from Texas and Memphis, two cradles of American BBQ culture, to create a thick sauce texture that clings well to ribs and brisket during a low and slow cook without running thin. The sweet and tangy flavor comes from real molasses and apple cider vinegar, with a deep aftertaste of natural wood smoke rather than the usual harsh chemical liquid smoke flavor. Placed next to Sweet Baby Ray's, which almost everyone has in their pantry because it only costs $2 to $3, the difference in depth of flavor is obvious, especially when you're smoking something worth the effort, like a whole rack of ribs or a brisket all afternoon. At $4.28 a bottle, which is less than half the price of Lily's Q, the experience delivers 9/10 of the quality. 5. Ritz Toasted Chips. Ritz is not a name that needs an introduction, but this toasted chips line is different enough to deserve a mention of its own. This is not the traditional round cracker rebranded. It is a completely reworked product in the direction of a thick, square chip that is twice baked instead of deep fried. The result is a significant reduction in total fat content, while the crunch is actually firmer and lasts longer after the packaging is opened, something anyone who often opens a bag of chips, leaves it unfinished, and sets it aside will immediately understand the true value of. The sour cream and chives flavor here is worth a special mention because the smooth, tangy sour cream and fragrant dried chives are evenly coated, not bland in the middle or overly intense at the edges like some other flavored chip lines. The texture of the chip is thick enough to dip into heavy sauces without crumbling apart, a quality for which Stacy's pita chips are often praised and that carries a price tag of $5.49 a bag. Ritz Toasted Chips do the exact same job at $3.98, and they actually stay crunchy longer after opening compared to some batches of Stacy's pita chips, which can become stale and hard. Placed next to the bottle of Heinz Pitmaster from the previous section, these two things combined cost less than $9, yet are enough to set up a pretty solid snack table for an entire backyard gathering. 6. Better Homes and Gardens Folding Chairs. Tommy Bahama sells similar relaxing folding chairs for $65 to $80, and that is not a price point everyone wants to drop on a patio chair. Better Homes and Gardens has just put a version on Walmart's shelves that makes that price difference hard to justify. The load-bearing tubular steel frame is powder-coated to prevent rust and supports a maximum weight capacity of 350 pounds, significantly exceeding the 220-pound limit common in most standard folding chairs. The textiline fabric is woven from PVC-coated polyester fibers, making it waterproof and resistant to rotting or fading under the sun after multiple summers of use. Its open mesh structure keeps your back and thighs from feeling stuffy, even when sitting outside for a long time. The chair can recline up to 130 degrees with safety locking notches at multiple positions, accompanied by a removable headrest pillow that adjusts to your height. A point that older adults particularly appreciate is that the chair does not sag excessively deep when reclined, helping the spine maintain a natural posture instead of bending, which causes lower back pain after an hour of sitting to read a book or watch baseball on the porch. At $34.96, you can buy 2 to have a full pair of chairs out on the porch while still spending less than buying a single one from Tommy Bahama. This summer is coming fast, and chairs like these usually sell out before people even realize they need them. 7. Mainstays Picnic Blanket. Everyone has at least one old picnic blanket in their storage shed. The paper-thin kind where every time you unfold it over wet grass, you just know you're going to stand up with damp pants. This time, Mainstays has released a blanket with a completely different structure, and the $15.88 price tag for an 80 by 80 inch size, plenty of room for 4 to 6 people to sit comfortably, is a price that made me double-check the label. The 3-layer structure here does exactly what most cheap blankets completely fail to do. The top layer is a smooth fleece that is comfortable to sit on. The middle layer is compressed cotton batting that creates a light elasticity, and most importantly, the bottom layer is PU-coated Oxford tarp cloth that blocks ground moisture and wet grass from seeping upward. This is the detail that truly makes a difference when you go on an early morning picnic or sit on the lawn after a late afternoon rainstorm from the day before. It rolls up tightly in about 30 seconds thanks to the built-in carrying handle, and hook and loop closure is machine washable and offers good color fastness after multiple uses. The Yeti Lowlands blanket does the same thing and is favored by the high-end outdoor community, but its $200 price tag is a hard number to justify for a ground mat. LL Bean has a comparable version for $49. The Mainstays here is $15.88 and actually does not fall short in its core function of keeping the people sitting on top dry and comfortable. There are things worth paying a premium price for due to truly superior quality, and there are things where you are just paying for the name. This outdoor blanket clearly belongs to the latter group. 8. Solar LED Pathway Lights. The garden lighting shelves at Walmart always have a few packs of solar lights selling cheap, around $2 to $3 a piece, and most of us have tried them at least once. You stake them into the ground, they look nice for about 2 weeks, then the light starts to dim, the plastic casing becomes brittle and breaks after a few rainstorms, and by the end of the summer, you're back at Walmart buying a new pack. Better Homes and Gardens released this light model at $12.88, and that is where that money-wasting loop ends. It features a solid powder-coated die-cast steel housing to prevent rust, not the thin ABS plastic that you can dent with your hand. Real glass creates a warm, flickering light effect similar to a classic candle, completely different from the cold, bluish-white LED light of cheap products. The high-efficiency monocrystalline solar panel automatically turns on at dusk and stays consistently bright for 8 hours at a 15-lumen output, whereas most $2 lights only reach 3 to 5 lumens and dim out after the first 2 hours. Hampton Bay at Home Depot sells a comparable product for $22 a piece. If you need 10 lights for your walkway or front yard, the $90 saved is a figure significant enough to notice. What I like most about this product is that it does one job and does it well. There are no redundant features, no remote controls, and no distracting flashing modes. It is just a warm, stable, automatic light all night long, season after season, without you having to give it a thought. Right after this, there is a device that I will tell you straight up. There is a version you should buy and a version you absolutely should not, even though they stand right next to each other on the exact same shelf. 9. Mainstays 3-in-1 Tower Fan. Every summer brings the exact same problem in many households. The air conditioner runs all day, but the cold air only lingers in one corner of the room while the rest remains stuffy and humid. A tower fan placed in the right spot solves that more effectively than you think. And this time, Mainstays has released a model with plenty of reasons to draw more attention than standard tower fans. 3 functions are integrated into one slim body: wide area cooling with a 90-degree oscillation angle that pushes and evenly distributes cold air from the AC throughout the room. a carbon filter that eliminates fine dust and primary odors, and a sleep mode that operates under 35 decibels thanks to a next-generation DC motor. 35 decibels is a soft whisper level, meaning you will no longer hear the fan noise when you lie down, something quite a few tower fans in this segment still cannot do well. The Lasco Wind Curve is famous in the industry at the $75 price point and is worth the money in its own way. The Dyson Purifier at $400 features a true HEPA filter for people who seriously need air purification. But if you just need a quiet sleeping fan for your bedroom or reading room without wanting to pay $75 for a Lasco, the Mainstays at $49 does everything it needs to do with nothing to complain about. Speaking of cooling, right in the nearby electronics department, there is an item being displayed rather eye-catchingly that I think needs to be called out straight up before you reach out to grab it. 10 neck fan warning. They look really cool. They feature a compact bladeless design, sit completely hands-free around your neck, and are advertised as the ideal cooling solution when gardening or walking under the sun. Walmart is currently displaying quite a few versions priced under $30 right in the main aisles, and I understand why they sell because they look truly appealing at first glance. But here is the real-world issue that few people call out straight up. The lithium battery in these cheap versions sits right against your neck at both ends of the band. In 90-degree Fahrenheit weather, when the battery runs continuously at full capacity, the heat generated is transferred directly into your neck and the back of your head, the exact spots where you need cooling the most. The higher the ambient temperature, the harder the battery has to work and the more heat it generates, creating a vicious cycle where the final result is the exact opposite of what you expected when buying it. The constant hum of the small motor running right next to your ears is the second issue. It's not loud, but it is enough to cause discomfort after half an hour for anyone sensitive to noise. Furthermore, batteries in this price segment usually only last about 90 minutes on high power, which is just enough for you to realize you need a recharge right when you're at your busiest. If you really want to try this type of device, look for versions priced from $50 and up from Taurus or G-Life, where the battery is positioned further away from the neck and the motor quality is high enough to not cause annoying noise. The ones under $30 sitting on Walmart shelves right now based on real-world reviews are not worth the money for what they actually deliver. I'm about to talk about something that J.Crew is selling for 4 times the price, and the actual quality gap between the two is much narrower than you think. 11. George Shorts. George is Walmart's long-standing apparel brand, and most people know it as a basic, adequate option with nothing special to talk about. However, these summer chino shorts are different. The 98% long staple cotton material provides a natural breathability that synthetic fabrics can never completely mimic, especially on summer afternoons when the temperature hits 90 degrees Fahrenheit and you are standing outside grilling in the backyard. The inclusion of 2% spandex in the blend might sound minimal, but it is enough to keep the shorts from binding or pulling tight across the hips and thighs when you sit down, get into a car, or bend over to garden. Something pure cotton shorts usually fail at midday once the fabric has absorbed sweat and begins to stiffen. The inner mesh lining woven from silver nanofibers not only absorbs sweat, but also prevents bacteria from multiplying on the fabric surface, which is what causes unpleasant odors after a few hours of outdoor activity. This is a detail you typically only find in high-tech performance activewear or premium outdoor gear, not in $15 casual chino shorts. They feature durable double-needle stitched seams, a reliable YKK zipper, and a sharp, straight fit with an elegant knee-length cut. J.Crew and Banana Republic sell similar chino shorts for $59 to $68, and if you place the two side by side, the actual quality gap is not enough to justify that $45 price difference. At $14.98, the practical shopping logic is that you can grab 3 to 4 different colors for the entire summer, and the total cost still won't equal that of a single designer pair. For anyone who wears shorts almost every day from May to September, this math is a complete no-brainer. 12. Häagen-Dazs Summer Solstice. Häagen-Dazs needs no introduction, but this summer solstice flavor has just appeared in Walmart's freezers and deserves a mention of its own instead of just being categorized with regular premium ice creams. This is a pure peanut butter version swirled with raw roasted pistachios. What sets it apart from typical peanut butter flavors is that the sweetness has been significantly reduced compared to the old recipe. Instead, it features a natural, subtle saltiness and the rich, nutty flavor of real roasted nuts. It doesn't leave a harsh, cloying sweetness in your throat after a few spoonfuls like many other peanut butter ice creams do, something anyone who dislikes overly sweet treats will notice from the very first bite. Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams has been the biggest name in the premium ice cream segment in recent years, featuring creative flavors made from natural ingredients and priced near $9 to $10 a pint at select supermarkets. Häagen-Dazs Summer Solstice does not fall behind in terms of smoothness and cream density. The overrun in the ice cream is extremely low, creating a truly rich, dense texture rather than the airy, fluffy feel of industrial ice cream. At $5.48 at Walmart, you save more than $3 per pint compared to Jenny's, while making absolutely no significant compromises on the flavor experience. There are summer days when, after making all the smart shopping decisions throughout the day, a pint of good ice cream in the freezer is the most rewarding thing to end with. This is a rare occasion where Walmart lets you do exactly that without having to trade off quality. 12 items, but you don't need to buy them all at once. The Ozark Trail cooler and the Better Homes and Gardens chairs are the two things I would prioritize before the summer gets really hot. You can always come back for the rest, but the shelves won't wait long for those two.